When you picture the pinnacle of global football, this is what comes to mind. 5 gold stars, 5 World Cup trophies. No other nation comes close to the legacy Brazil has built on the pitch. That reputation was forged over decades by an endless assembly line of talent. Players like Pelé, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho played a style of football that looked like art, securing Brazil's status as the king of the sport. But that history makes their current reality difficult to process. By the time the 2026 World Cup kicks off, it will have been 24 years since Brazil last lifted a championship trophy. This presents a paradox. Brazil still exports the most gifted individual players on the planet, dominating top club rosters across the globe. Yet, on the sport's biggest stage, they continue to suffer shocking collapses. To see what keeps going wrong, we can look at their 2022 quarterfinal match against Croatia. It serves as a microscopic case study of Brazil's modern struggles. Deep into extra time, Neymar produced a moment of individual genius. He navigated through a tight Croatian defense to score a spectacular, record-tying goal, finally giving Brazil the lead. But look at this tactical pitch map showing the moments immediately after that goal. With only 3 minutes remaining, Brazil aggressively pushed forward. You can see 4 attackers highlighted here, dangerously out of position deep in the opponent's half. Leaving the defense exposed had immediate consequences. Croatia launched a counterattack, exploited the massive empty space left behind by the Brazilian offense, scored the equalizer, and eventually won the match on penalties. This specific tactical breakdown illustrates the disconnect between Brazil's raw talent and the discipline needed to close out a game. When fundamental game management is required, the individual stars frequently fail to function as a unit. That 2022 defeat was not an isolated incident. If we zoom out and look at the data since their last championship in 2002, an undeniable pattern emerges. This timeline chart plots Brazil's World Cup exits over the last 20 years. 2006, France. 2010, the Netherlands. 2014, Germany. 2018, Belgium. And 2022, Croatia. Across 5 consecutive tournaments, they have been eliminated exclusively by European nations. During that same 20-year span, European football underwent a structural shift. Federations poured billions into elite academies, prioritizing cohesive, regimented tactical systems over raw individual play. While Europe was systematizing the sport from the ground up, Brazil continued to rely on technical superiority and individual flair to carry them through matches. European nations have spent 2 decades engineering collective tactical systems specifically designed to isolate and neutralize individual superstars. This structural fragility was laid bare in the 2014 semifinal against Germany. Heading into that game on home soil, Brazil lost their offensive focal point to injury and their defensive anchor to suspension. Without Thiago Silva marshalling the backline, the squad had no foundational system to fall back on. Instead of adjusting his strategy to protect a weakened squad, manager Luis Felipe Scolari played an open, emotionally driven game against a highly structured opponent. This data visualization shows the mathematical result of that choice. The German machine dismantled the Brazilian defense, scoring 4 distinct goals in a 6-minute span. The historic 7-1 defeat was proof of a harsh new reality. A systematized collective will dismantle an outdated, superstar-reliant philosophy every time. So why has Brazil refused to adapt its tactical philosophy in the decade following that disaster? The answer lies in the savior complex. Culturally, there is an insistence on building the national team's entire emotional and tactical framework around a single, designated genius. The expectation to live up to the legacy of Pelé and Ronaldo places immense pressure on these modern players. When the team falls behind, that pressure frequently leads to mental fragility. Forcing the entire offense through a singular focal point actively prevents the squad from developing resilient, decentralized tactics that can survive against top-tier opponents. The cultural obsession with recreating the magic of individual legends is the exact mechanism sabotaging Brazil's ability to win in the modern era. The era where a single footballing genius could unilaterally carry a nation to a World Cup victory is over. The modern game is now defined by collective efficiency and rigid tactical discipline. We see this repeatedly when these modern European collectives face Brazil. Their systemic approach consistently suffocates isolated Brazilian attackers, rendering individual dribbling skills ineffective. Modern tournament football has evolved from a showcase of athletic talent into a systems engineering problem. The 2026 World Cup arrives as a turning point for the Brazilian football empire. To reclaim the crown, they must undergo a massive evolution. They must dismantle the savior complex, decentralize their tactics, and marry their unmatched individual flair with cold European discipline. Until they overcome the weight of their own history, the greatest football nation on earth will remain paralyzed by the ghosts of its past.